Alright, here we are with the Run Courses assignment, updated version. So this first line imports the file class from the Java input-output package. And this second line, it imports the file not found exception class, which helps us when the program tries to open a file that doesn't exist or can't be accessed. This third line, so this imports the print writer class, which lets us it lets us edit or print to other these text documents. My brain is failing me. Alright. The import Java scanner. So this imports the scanner class, which allows it to read input, which we won't be reading input from the keyboard this time. Alright. So the usual public class, it's the class declaration. It defines a class named Feagin Run Courses. And then the public static void main, the main method header, it's the point at which Java starts running the program. And this bit at the end, it declares that it's the part that the file not found exception. It declares that it might throw a file not found exception. I'm explaining this badly, shit. Alright, the file course. So this creates a file object called course file that represents the courses.txt. So it basically just means that every time we say course file from now on, what we mean is courses.txt. And this part, so this declares that if course file does not exist, then the system outprints the message error file not found, as we can see down here. Spoiler alert, I still have not figured out why my programs are failing to reference these text files. Alright, moving on. And the return just stops the program from running after it fails to find the file, just so it doesn't create any more problems. Okay, this scanner file scanner part, This means we're creating a scanner object called file scanner that will read from the file course file, which we already defined earlier means courses, I believe it was courses1.txt. Oh, I think that was supposed to be courses1.txt. That might be part of the problem. Only not, because well, I'm gonna try it both ways. Where was I? Scanner file scanner. Okay. So the string student name. So this will grab the first line of the file, of the text file, and it will store it under the string student name. This was the bit that said it should start before the loop begins. Okay, so the string course name, it just declares the variable course name so that you can store it later when we start the loop. And it lets you store, it's gonna let us store the course name from the courses1.txt file. Alright, I'm almost at 10 minutes already, so I'm gonna try to start going faster. So in credits, this just declares an integer variable that we can use to store the credits that we're reading from the file. And this starts our count for the total number of credits. We're going to start it off at 0. It's going to start counting from there. And totals. Okay, so this sets up the counters for the number of SIS courses and the total number of SIS credits. We set them equal to 0, and it's going to start counting up from there. And our Boolean. Okay. So this declares a Boolean variable called completed sys210 and sets it equal to false. So it's set to false because it hasn't checked if the student has taken the class yet. Okay, so it's going to be set to false, and then it's gonna check if the student's taken the class later on, and then it's either gonna be changed to true or remain false. And we finally hit our while loop. This starts a loop that continues as long as there's more data to read from the file. So, course name, in this order, it checks for the course name, the number of credits, and the semester. And this one is next integer because the credits are an integer and not a string, unlike the other two. We hit 10 minutes. Alright, so total credits. So this, it adds the credits from the current course that it's reading to the running total of all credits the student has earned so far. So this should start off at 0 and then add the credits from the part of the text that it's reading, and then adjust the value of total credits to whatever that is, let's say 4. And then because it's a loop, it does it again and again, adds that number up. Alright, and this is the part where it's adding up specifically the SIS courses. And this is the part where it finally checks if SIS 210 was taken. And if it does appear, it sets our variable from earlier, completed SIS 210, equal to true. Alright, and this bit closes the scanner object that was reading from the file, because we shouldn't need to reference the file anymore. Alright, and this is the part where it checks if you meet graduation requirements. So it checks if you completed SIS 210, and it checks that your total credits are greater than or equal to 64. And, alright, file output. This creates a file object called output file. It represents the file where our output is going to be written to, and it's going to either create this file or overwrite this file. And this is only possible because of PrintWriter. This creates a PrintWriter object called PW, and this is what allows you to write text to this file. I'm gonna be honest, I kinda like system out print better. It's kinda easier to understand, but I get the point of this. This is probably more useful. But anyway, so we got our if statement. This checks the Boolean variable, graduates or not graduates. So it outprints student name graduates. The message student name graduates if the graduate condition was set to true. And or else, if they were not set to true, then it prints the message student name does not graduate. And then it closes the print writer. And like I said earlier, I still have failed to figure out why my program is not reading these text files. And I figure once again I will get points off for that, for being unable to demonstrate. Oh, this is gonna bother me forever. And sorry I went over time too. I'm terrible at that.